everyone, here we are again, the Tipsy
Hello.
Realtor, and we have Colby from 2020 Home Inspections to talk to us today about how to maximize your home inspection manual. But before that, we're going to make a cocktail called the Prime Inspector. I kind of feel like I should have like a monocle.
Yeah, the Prime.
And like,
right?
yeah, exactly, and like a trench coat.
That's a Sherlock Holmes. I'm sure there is something called Sherlock Holmes.
No, it'd be like Inspector Gadget.
Oh,
Doo, doo, doo.
See, for me, like Prime, it's like Optimus Prime. That's what I was thinking. I was like,
So Optimus Prime in a trench coat with a monocle?
so, yeah, that's the next Halloween costume right there. But thank you for joining us on the show and welcome. Hope you enjoyed. As I explained in Kobe earlier, the process, we picked the cocktails and topics a year in advance, so we don't know what they taste like. So it's going to be a surprise. I'm looking forward to this one, actually. It looks delicious.
I'll be honest, I'm a little scared of November drinks.
Yeah.
They're more my husband's
If you guys
drinks.
watched the show last week, that Robin unfortunately did it herself, and I escaped drinking something that we probably not gonna like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But let's see what this one is.
Yeah.
So let's get the recipe
I'm
on
looking forward to this
the screen.
Okay.
So the recipe's pretty basic.
Yeah.
So here, I was telling Anna that I'm going to teach her something today, and she's going to be like,
Okay.
"Ah."
Is it the one when you're not spilling alcohol on the counter?
No.
No. Okay.
So in this recipe, it says Applejack. Applejack is actually apple brandy, and not all apple brandies are Applejack. Just some apple brandies are Applejack. And Caldovas is one that is actually an Applejack apple brandy, so you can use it for this recipe.
So how do you find out which one is what?
You have this thing on your computer, and it's called Google.
But does it say in the bottle? Like on the bottle, does it like?
No.
It's obviously lighter in color than like regular brandy. Like, you know, it's more of a gold color.
I Googled it.
You Googled it. I love Google. I Google things all the time.
So, 1 ounce of Caldovas, which obviously Caldovas is super easy to find at pretty much every liquor store. And Verna is 1 ounce.
Yeah, what's that? I was trying to read this.
It's an Italian liqueur, so you can go look at it. And
Siciliano from Sicily.
Exactly, one of my favorite places.
It smells like what's that? Another one, a similar, not vermouth, but they have something like the Italian, also dark liquor, some sort. And what is this?
Puttames.
Aperitivo.
Never heard of that one.
And then
it smells
you
like
put them
dried
all in,
cherries.
1 ounce each, and then the 2 dashes of your bitters in a cherry, and then stir.
It's like a vermouth idea. Okay.
All right.
So it's kind of very Italian.
It is a very Italian drink, yeah.
Mainly in Italian. I love it.
So you guys have yours. It
There
comes.
you go.
It definitely looks like a manly drink.
Do
Like
you-
when you take a look at it, big huge ice cube
Yes,
in there.
cheers.
It looks very, very manly.
Yeah, scary and dark.
Let's see what it tastes like.
Nice.
Not as bad as last week.
Yeah. It's definitely a combination of these two. The Averna and what are the
Puttames?
Yeah, Puttames. Is that how you say it? I like Pont and Still.
It's actually got kind of a sweet taste to it.
Yes.
Like a sweet aftertaste to it.
Yeah.
It's got kind of a chocolatey, bitter forward, and then a sweet kind of aftertaste at the end, which is actually kind of neat.
Yeah, it's
I actually could really see my husband liking this one.
yeah. And it's not very harsh on the liquor either. It's quite smooth in that sense. I do love the cherry part of it. So, and it is on a sweeter, less on the harsh side. And I would say it's like one of those like, you know, digestive or like, you know.
Digestive?
Yeah, like whatever. Like, well, after the meal, you can have this.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be a great digestive drink. It would be really good. Again, a campfire drink.
It does have a
this
little
drink.
bit like a herbal hint to it.
Yeah,
too.
it does. So,
You know what? It's like if you have a little tinkle in your throat, you just make it, and it's like I really have to have a prime inspector to inspect my throat.
there you go.
Good.
All right. So
So-
now, away from our cocktail and to our conversation about what to find in your home inspection manual. So this is the 2020 actual home inspection manual. It is 25 pages.
Yeah, usually you get it obviously in
An email.
electronic format, yes. And you guys very good in terms of showing the clients how to use it on the spot.
Yeah.
We printed it out just in case. Well, it's really hard to integrate the pages into the show.
It's
But
better on camera.
yeah. So, but why don't you take it away? It's you're the guest and the star of our show.
What do you think the
Yeah.
best thing that you can
Yeah.
find in
I will
your
just-
inspection manual? Like the
just
things
in
that are
case.
most important.
Well, the thing that people seem to get the most excited for is either probably the insurance section. It's just a really handy reference that everyone can have in front of them.
Okay, so explain that, because actually the insurance part comes up all the time. It actually answers a lot of questions that once you go to get your insurance company asks you for.
Yeah.
And you guys take care of this during the home inspection because they realize and acknowledge you're going to need all this information anyhow. So they've done what they can to provide it for you. So explain it.
So it's broken down by section, same as the rest of the report is, and it'll just have all the answers to any question that insurance will ask you.
Like how old your furnace is.
Like what the plumbing material is made of, like what's the insulation value of the attic.
I had no
Like
idea that existed there.
Oh yeah.
I know, right?
Super
How did
handy
I get
reference.
alcohol all over this?
I just printed it. What a disaster. We're going to have a workshop for Robin, how to make drinks clean.
But that's great. So what else? So you've got the type of electricity they have, the type of piping. What about, okay, we always get the question about, do we have a
Backup
valve?
Sewer valve.
Yeah.
Is that in there
that's-
too?
That's all in here. That's
Cool.
that'll be under your plumbing.
Plumbing.
Right here, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, there's one thing I want to mention. Majority of the time, the home inspector will send a report to the client. And only if there is like a big issues that we have to like deal with the seller, we generally don't see the reports. And if we do, we're dealing with the only issues. So we don't actually go and read the report in detail, right?
And because that is part of your due diligence, that is part of your information. But what else is in that home inspection?
The summary section is also a good handy reference. Rather than going through the whole report, because it can be quite daunting. There's a lot of information in there, a lot of photos. If you just use the summary section, that's kind of all the more pressing issues. Those are things that we really want to bring your attention to. That's right here. So these are kind of the either higher dollar value fixes, safety issues, or urgent fixes. We just bring your attention to that in just one handy reference right here.
That's awesome.
That's the page I work with the most.
I never even noticed this before. So they have actually little dollar signs, so you know if it's big dollars or little dollars. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, there's tons of information, lots of good references for you to have as a homeowner.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing we always try and remind our clients, and these guys will remind you up front, their job is to look for issues. So just because they bring it up doesn't mean like you shouldn't buy the house, or if it looks like there's lots of things in your home inspection. That is what you guys always tell them, right?
Yeah.
That the reality of
no such thing as a perfect home.
No, there's no such thing of a perfect home. Just like there's no such thing as a perfect wife unless it's me.
Yeah, exactly. I am definitely not that wife.
I know. Actually, this is the one thing I always tell my friends, and they laugh at me when I talk about other people, and they'll be like, "Oh, blah blah blah," and they'll be like upset about someone. I'm like, you know what? When I'm perfect, I'm going to be a lot more choosy with my friends.
I was going to back to the report. One of the things about your report, what I find with your company in particular, it's a little bit more of an interactive, a lot more information, and it is. I'll lie, it was struggling. And it is set up more of a guide, like maintenance-wise. So you can take that report after you move into the house and really go through it in terms of not only what you need to fix, but how to maintain your home.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just telling you what's wrong with it when you're buying it, but it's very much a good homeowner's manual. Lots of good information on, like, for example, how often to change your furnace filters, smoke detectors, stuff like that. Just lots of really good information just to keep on hand and just good reference.
Yeah. So once as you wonder like how to maintain your home, especially if you're a new homeowner, really pay attention to what is given to you. I mean, at the end of the day, you are paying a lot of money for the home inspection. And to be honest, with like 2020, I found you get a lot more than with a lot of other companies there. It's not just a report showing current status of the home, but really in terms of what you can look after in the future, like the immediate versus non-immediate, plus how to maintain your home, just and kind of maintain it and maintain the value, and then you have not such a big expensive repairs.
So
Yeah.
what else is in here that you think is a pretty highlight that you definitely want to make sure people see or know about when they're maximizing that home inspection report?
Another thing, we also have our information in here, so that if you have any questions, you can also.
Obviously this is not Jacqueline. 2020 has quite a few inspectors, but you do have like a little page about the home inspector with the pictures, just in case you forgot what they look like, with information to reach you. Because I find something again, as I said, I don't read the reports, and I get the questions about the home stuff like, where is the shut-off wall? I was like, I don't know. Like, look at your home inspection report, or call your inspector. That because sometimes there's quite a complex cases that we work through, right?
Well, every home is very different. Like, there are times where it takes us some time to find, for example, the shut-off valves and stuff.
Yes.
Like the exterior hose.
On my house here currently, we still don't know what one is. I've been here for 10 years.
Now, one thing with these home inspections, although people do get them when they purchase houses, you can also get them when you're about to list your house, right? So that you see what issues are happening, and then you can actually utilize that to fix those issues before putting your house up for sale. But keep in mind, and correct me if I'm wrong in this, there's a lot of verbal information that goes into a home inspection when they do it. So one thing the lawyers always tell us is to not pass along what are called pre-inspection reports to the buyer, because you then become obligated for all that information. And then do you allow that? Do you allow people just to pass it along to someone else, or do you have any kind of restrictions in the fact that you have like an indemnification that you've done the home inspection only for this one person, and if they pass it along to the next person, you are not liable?
No, once we give you the report, you've paid for it. It's your report to do with as you want. Like, you can share it with your realtor or with anybody. But, and we encourage you to share it with like trades if they're coming in to fix something. Like, this is what needs to be fixed.
Fair enough.
Exactly what it is. It's up to you. There is a stipulation in here that it's a snapshot of today. Report, so it's not like 3 years down the road. Oh, my report said this. It's at the day that we come into the house. This is the state of everything.
So, and I'm just throwing this out there because I've lived in my house for 22 years, and I think that we keep it pretty well maintained. We do our furnace annually. We clean our ducts. We maintain our gas outlets on a fairly regular basis. But this is something that someone could do if they've lived in their house for a really long time and want to know kind of what those maintenance items, they could do it every like 3 to 5 years, couldn't they? To get kind of a snapshot of things that need to be done in their house so that they're properly maintaining it. And you have professionals coming into your home, and it's like a home maintenance report. I don't think you'd need to do it every year, but every 3 to 5 years isn't horrible to know where you're lagging or whatever like that. Now the pictures are really good because you said bringing this.
Show some of the stuff inside.
Yeah, so the pictures are really good because you guys mentioned you do pictures, but you don't just do pictures with a regular camera. Like, that's helpful for the trades, but you guys actually use a special infrared camera too, right?
We do, yeah. That's in our in the thermal section, which will be a little after this. We have. We come in with our infrared camera, and that shows us a lot more than you can see with the naked eye. And to your point about if you're just living in your house for a while and you want to see what's up with it, there are times that we can find things with the thermal camera that you might never find.
Yeah.
For example, like if there's like a wet or cold spot in the ceiling, it might not be visible, but it could mean that there's something going on in there that needs to be fixed.
Or if you've got like a crack in your foundation and it's just starting before it becomes a catastrophe, then you could maybe get it fixed. Now, keep in mind too, and again, we're not insurance people, so keep this in mind. I'd be super curious about an insurance company's perspective if every 3 to 5 years you're getting a home inspection and they were to find that crack in your foundation early on, if you could argue that the insurance needs to cover it if they wouldn't normally, because of the fact that you've actually been really well maintaining your home, having it inspected on a regular basis, if there would be any kind of exception for coverage for that, because it is such a good thing to have.
Yeah, and I want to show you just kind of like what the report looks like. So I'm going to get like super close. There you are. Which way?
Up.
Up.
There you go.
Okay. Is it? So, and usually, like, I know the guys, you guys put like thumbs up or like thumbs down when that's kind of right by the um, the repair that needs to be done. So, and the photos are great. And not only you guys have like a notes, but also like recommendations quite usually, like, that again, it's very detailed. The summary, I find a really big problem, so attention now. And then there is a lot of little things that goes through the report. And what I do like about it, it's quite a big font. Not that I'm an old lady, but
Old lady.
when you go through the pages and pages of the report, it's like easy to find, like highly visible. You can take the snapshots of this report in little categories and send that to the seller, for example, so you don't have to send the whole report. Yeah. It's really easy to work with. And I believe if you click on those like dots that you guys have here, they will take you to the page. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So they have the dots. Again, I'm going to show you that they have like, if it's a solid dot, that means it's bad. When it's just kind of a circle like this, that means you have to look into it earlier than better. But if you click on it, it goes to the page that is on the report as well. So it's very interactive.
Yes.
Yeah, really.
The whole thing is interactive. It's full of links that bring you around to different sections.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, we really appreciate this. I think it's a great thing to know. Your home inspection reports are pretty awesome. I think you have a maintenance checklist in there for like an annual maintenance checklist too, so you know what to do to your house annually. And then I actually think people should consider getting one done every 3 to 5 years to properly maintain their home. Have good practices, and your home will be like a new home as long as you continue to maintain it that way. I was telling someone the other day when we were in a house, because they asked about the age of the house, and I said, well, there's something that's called an actual age, which is the year the house was built, the year the foundation was poured, and then there's something called an effective age. An effective age is how old the house feels based on how it's been maintained over its
like
life.
I'm 44, but I'm really 25.
Exactly. Her actual age is 44, but her effective age is 25, just like me.
Yeah.
So we're good, except for my actual age is 47, but my effective age is 25.
Exactly.
Because I've taken such good care of myself.
And I'm just gonna do one more
minus
step.
the drinking.
Yeah, exactly.
You do the yoga. Can't
Yeah, we just talked about the hot yoga. We both do it. Yeah, so we just sweat it out. But I will just take one more tip on there, because if you guys own investment properties, which I do, you do, and one of the things, if you have like a tenant year to year, it's kind of great because and depends what they look after. Like if you live in your own home, you don't look after everything. The tenants definitely don't. So I usually, especially between the tenants, I had a home inspector come through.
Yep.
And they inspect the property, and I need to fix things before the new tenant comes in.
Absolutely.
And the reason you do it is, number one, you have less problems with a new tenant. And secondly, you avoiding big problems that may cause by not looking after it, right? So it's like if there's a small water leak sometimes, right? You don't notice. The home inspectors will find it. Where with a naked eye, sometimes you wouldn't. And you will avoid big repairs on your investment properties by doing that.
And how much is an average home inspection? We get that all the time. How much is on average a home inspection?
Well, it does depend on the square footage. There's a few other reasons why we'd up the price if you're getting, for example, a sewer scope, or if it's not a town inspection.
Yeah, the sewer scope, but like
for the older houses is super
One
cool.
thing I'm gonna mention, it's really become super popular within the last few years. And even this year, I think I've done more than I've done it through my entire career.
Well, what age of a home should you start thinking about putting sewer scopes in?
There's a lot of reasons why you might want to do it. Like, for example, if you have big trees or something like that in your yard.
Okay.
But it's best
You wouldn't
practice.
need it on a new home, though.
No.
Yeah.
There are a few decades going back historically where they were using materials that we don't recommend anymore. For example, something like Orangeburg, like that they're only using that for about 10, 15 years. Not even actually. If you have something like that, definitely you'll want a sewer scope, because then that can lead to a lot of issues. And there are ways, if you kind of get ahead of it, that you can solve it before it's
Yeah, and you guys
catastrophic.
are very great at that, and
Yeah.
it's fairly inexpensive. It's a
Okay.
it's
But
It's a
back
great
to the
addition.
question: is what is the average price of a home inspection? We
Oh,
still haven't
yes.
gotten
he
that.
said it's based on square footage.
Yeah.
I know, but
Average $675 maybe. But
$675?
it depends on the house.
Yeah.
That's we have a scale.
Yeah.
But average maybe $650, $675.
And then how much is the sewer scope on top of that?
I believe it's
250.
200 something. I'm
Okay.
not sure. I'm not actually.
So if
Yeah.
we went hypothetically on
I know you have
just,
a different guy who does that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
but if
we'll
we went,
leave a handful of people that come in and do that.
Yeah.
That's separate. Yeah.
but if we have on, as an example, $675 for a house, $650 for a house every 3 to 5 years, it's really, if you think about it, only about $200 a year to have your house inspected every 3 to 5 years to ensure that you don't have big issues. And trust me, $650 to $675 every 3 to 5 years as an inspection fee is ridiculously low, because of the fact that if something becomes a big problem because you didn't know it was happening, or even too, like, even actually, I'll be honest, for me, I took possession of my house in 2002. It was built in 1998. And about 10 years ago, someone mentioned that they had sprayed their ceiling insulation in and topped it up. And I was like, oh, I wonder how much mine is. So I sent someone over and they filled up my ceiling insulation, and it has saved me hundreds of dollars on my heating alone, which I wouldn't have known had I not had someone come in to inspect it. So again, you can have an inspector come in, do that inspection, see your ceiling insulation is low, and then save the money on your heating bill alone every 3 to 5 years. So I do highly recommend it as a maintenance item.
So don't ignore, don't ignore your home inspection report, because it is more valuable just for the time being. Thank you so much for going through it. And
again, you also don't only need home inspections when you're buying and selling homes. You can get them in between.
Exactly, yeah. It's a service you can do at any time. Anyway, so we have 1 week left after this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna do the prize giveaway first week of December. And what are we giving away?
We are giving away
the smoke shack
whiskey smoker kit, which comes with all the woods and the fire and the smoking thing and making big huge balls, because we are in November.
Yes, we like the balls, right?
Big balls, big balls.
Anyway, yes, November again. It's a month of awareness for men's protein. That's it. Done. And I just finished her drink.
Prostate cancer.
Yes, whatever that just said. And, make sure you guys not just kind of talk about it, but, make an appointment.
Donate, get inspected.
Get inspected.
Totally didn't do that one on purpose, but that is funny.
Yes, absolutely. And so by the way you can enter to win our Smoke Show prize in December, you need to like, love, share, tag your friends and your family on all our shows that you see on all social media platforms. Again, Facebook Live or Facebook page, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. And
I already did it all.
You did that a lot, so there you go.
Okay, but next week.
Next week, what are we doing
Next week we are talking about Treasure Island and how to get your down payment from the government. Because this is my favorite time of year, because this is the time of year you can get the government to give you money back and help you buy a house. Digging for treasure. Because I call it tax mitigation. I love tax mitigation. I am a big fan of tax mitigation, and we're going to teach you how to do it in a way to get a down payment from the government so you can buy a house. Yeah. Or buy your next house, because we actually just learned something super cool over the last little bit, which I have been stoked about.
We're going to put that in a PowerPoint presentation for next time, maybe.
All right.
Yes.
So please like, love, and share our show. And of course,
excited.
You guys need to remember that if you want to follow along with our show, we do sell our book, our Cocktail Conversation Journal, on Amazon. It is tagged on our Facebook page in the highlights and the features, so that you can easily go and purchase our season.
And it makes a great gift giving for Christmas if you like cocktails. I don't know how many recipes actually there are. Do you know?
I think there's 44. 44 recipes
44 recipes
and
okay.
conversations. So follow along.
If you don't even care to follow along and listen to our awesome real estate stories, it's a 44 cocktail recipes that we have never tried, but we are trying them. And I'm making actual notes this year, what I like, what I don't like, because I do forget. So get that for your stocking stuffings. And of course, you guys can give us a call if you want to list or buy a house, because it's the time of a huge change in the mortgage actually policies.
Yeah.
We're gonna see possibly another rate drop
or rate raise, because they're now debating if it's rate drop or rate raise.
Ooh,
now with the U.S. election happen and finish and the results, they're talking about it raising up, although there's lots of reasons why they think they might raise it up.
And also the policy change on if you're buying $1.5 million. So basically you need to put 20% down only if you're purchasing 1.5 and up.
Which used to stop at 1.
That's right. So you get $500,000 for a lot less now. And 30-year amortization.
30-year amortization is another new thing.
Yeah, now December 15th. That's coming up.
Now remember, if you have any questions about real estate, if you have friends, family, coworkers, neighbors, people you like, people you don't like, have them call us, because we are here to answer all of the questions. We want to make sure you make the best informed decision you can when it comes to your real estate needs, whether it's buying to live in or buying to grow your wealth. It's very, very important to make good financial decisions, and we want to help you with that. So please give us a call at the number on the screen or take a look at our website. But we look forward to seeing you guys all next week.
See ya.